The beauty of winter, January 7th, 2023. Over a 24-hour period, we got about 3 inches of snow, but any place the earth is warm, it is not going to last. My lawn will be back to normal before you know it. Pretty light winter so far. Could change in a minute. Hello and welcome back. Sean here, Mountains Garage. Apologies if my voice sounds sick. If you remember, I believe in the last video, I was trying to avoid going back in the house because my wife and son were already sick and I was not able to avoid that. Monday, I knew I was coming down with something. I managed to finish the Turbo 400 on the yellow cart. I went back in the house Monday afternoon, and this is second time I've been in the shop all week. I brought a package down earlier in the week just to get some fresh air. And today, Saturday morning, I'm out walking around a little bit, trying to get some fresh air. I'm just tired of sitting around, feeling bad. I don't know what it is. I took a COVID test that was negative. I'm sure it's some kind of strain going around. If you go to my local supermarket, in the cold and flu aisle, there's nothing left. It's odd that's become the norm in this country, at least in my part of the country, to go into the grocery store and see empty shelves. But apparently it's pretty common at the moment. So the symptoms, if you care, somewhat of a headache right between your eyes, phlegm that makes you cough but non-productive, and of course runny nose, and that's about it. The cough will drive you nuts. My poor son's been coughing for a week and a half, but I think he's getting better. So, I'm outside today. Fresh air feels good. If I sound funny again, I apologize. I'm glad I finished that transmission. I was able to use some new tools that I was provided, once again by David Naud, N-A-U-D. He has a YouTube channel. He had sent me the air pressure testing rigs for the forward and direct drum. And in this case, he's improved them. He's made them out of aluminum. And he's got a nice handle on the forward one that goes over the input shaft. And I used them on that transmission to air check it before I put it together. Again, he's a clever guy, makes all kinds of tools. It's funny, sometimes I saw him on one of the transmission forums. He was saying that he built one of these. I mean, that's a lot of machining. And the piece looked, and I'm sure it functions beautifully if it's like everything else he's built. And people say, well, you don't need that. I don't understand that. If somebody makes a tool, you're kind of cheating yourself by dismissing it. If you have a better way to do it, great. If you've been doing it with a hammer and a screwdriver your whole life, good for you. But just let the guy enjoy the fact that he made something. Like this, pressure regulator spring install. I had a similar experience. I posted up that I just started using a small engine one, and people say, I just do it with a screwdriver. Good for you. This is easier. I build transmissions too. And I'm going to do something that's easier and faster for me. This is hands-free. I just tighten it up. I can casually look around for my snap ring and my pliers and put it in. I'm not fighting anything. So I see the beauty of making your work life, shop life, easier. Inside the TH400 behind me, it's a nice transmission. It's got a BTE bell. It's got an ATD 1+2 trans brake, first and second gear start. And per the instructions, like I've done a zillion of them, modify the modulator valve, put the spring on it, lube it up, make sure it's free in its bore. It was. I put on the external solenoid. And this transmission had a brake in it, a different brand before. It had an aluminum modulator clamp. It's extra thick, kind of a trick looking piece. I don't know who makes it. But when I install this on the transmission, the brake valve sticks. All I did is put a stock one on it, and it works fine. And I can recreate every time I bolt this one on, the valve sticks. So, has to be something. Has to be holding pressure on the sideways or something. So, something to watch for. I always make sure that valve is free because I don't want, any trouble. And they tell you how to, we've gone over this before, to check the scheduling and everything. So, definitely an area I like to do early in the transmission build, just to be sure I don't have to disassemble the transmission to figure out what's wrong with the case bore. I have a nice 8-bolt case sitting around here, but there is a modulator bore repair plug. I've never even seen one, but it's definitely installed in the transmission, and I don't trust using that, at least giving it to somebody else. So it sits on the shelf. You've seen me complain about these nonstop, these universal dipsticks. I just took the stick out of this one. I can't even get it back in, but I was gifted this. It's brand new. So I could check its accuracy right out of the package. And at this point, I can't even get the stick to go back through. So sometime in the future, we'll fight with it enough to at least get it, see if it's accurate. But it's not a bad looking piece. Once you murder your firewall with a couple screws, it didn't need to be there. Probably run them into the heater core. And this blows out and leaks oil all over your exhaust and burns the cat to the ground. But other than that, she's mint. I'm proud of myself this week that I didn't spend a ton of money online shopping because I had all this time to kill. I decided to engross myself in, pick a subject. I watched documentaries on just about everything. The Miracle on the Hudson, when Sully Sullenberger landed the plane. I listened to all the air traffic control and everything surrounding 9/11. And yeah, interesting. And the industrial buildup that this country did during World War II was worth the research. I mean, what we did and how we started. In 1939, 1940, 1941, we didn't want anything to do with war. We only had half a military, if you can call it that. We weren't ready. We had 5 aircraft carriers. We ended the war with 100. Unbelievable what we could do. And now I watched the decline. I watched a video about the Packard plant falling down in Detroit and the fight over who owns it and who's going to pay to demolish it. In World War II, that's where we built over here the Rolls-Royce Merlin engine. We Americanized it, assembly lined it, and pumped them out. The Rolls-Royce plant, it was probably 2 guys, they're working on an engine together, and it takes whatever it takes. Not going to happen over here. We needed that engine for the Mustang to win the war, which is pretty much what happened in that Packard plant. That's where it happened. Interesting, Henry Ford at the time wanted nothing to do with the war. He wanted to be isolated, isolationist, I guess they call him. Pearl Harbor, changed all the Japanese accomplished at Pearl Harbor was get all the people that didn't want war. Now they had to be at war. All the businessmen, the government went to business. All the business leaders, and we learned how to build stuff in a hurry. Just amazing what we did. Mind-boggling. 3 months from a mud flat in Richmond to pumping out Liberty ships. 3 months. Anyway, it's worth the research. Totally fascinating, horrific at the same time, especially, I spent a few hours learning about the Manhattan Project. I knew quite a bit about it, but all the details and the arguments and, Pandora's box. But anyway, I'm just babbling about that. I must be feeling better. Sorry if I sounded grumpy in the whole video. I'm trying not to. I actually am in a pretty good mood, but it's hard to sound funny when your voice sounds like you're mad. Oh, and in the middle of all this fun this week, my phone died. Went completely blank. So I'm not one to go to the phone store. We bought one online, Amazon. I just heard the mail truck come. Maybe it's here today. We keep a bunch of old ones around. We managed to resurrect one, swap the SD card around. They're already unlocked. We buy unlocked phones, so I don't want to have to, be beholden to the local phone store to get my phone to work. So maybe today I'll be setting up a brand new one. So I hope you are doing okay yourself. And I just wanted to, make a short video about why I haven't been around. And hopefully, this is the most I've gone outside, outside the bubble. And I think I like it out here. So have a great day. Enjoy your Saturday. Talk to you soon.